everybody. Can't seem to get my camera holding apparatus out of the picture, but whatever. You can see that we've got Death, the Lovers, and the Moon. Well, that is appropriate for what's going on today. So we have the moon coming into Aquarius at 2:32 p.m. Eastern Time, and the moon in Aquarius aligns with Mercury and Pluto. So we have a moon Mercury Pluto conjunction, which makes for an interesting week because it starts out a new cycle of emotional truth and digging deeper to understand what's really going on. And that can be within ourselves, within our relationships, within government. So there is a new cycle of revelation. And because it's a conjunction, it's the death, the end of the old cycle, and that begins the new. So we find things out. We are sifting through our feelings to find out what's really true. We're looking beneath the surface of the mind, looking beneath, feeling into what is the deeper truth. Because we can think all kinds of things, but we have our feeling, meeting, thinking, meeting the deepest part of our darkness. So we are plunging what we don't know that we don't know. We're bringing to the surface. It's very much like a plunger that you put into a toilet and pump it and create that pressure to bring what the problem is, what's the conflict, what's the clog, bring it to the surface so we can really come to understand it, untangle, and fix it. So we discover solutions. We discover answers. And these are things that can set us on the right path because we're getting clear with our conscience. It's those tensions, conflicts, those things that needle us just under the surface. And we expose ourself to ourself. And that can begin with a process of looking to expose or to make known or out somebody outside of ourselves. And that seems to be the problem. But we realize how much power we have when we identify and work on and fix and move through and leave behind our own problems. So we stop waiting for others to fix themselves. And we turn our hyper focus when Mercury and Pluto are together to finding what's wrong. Today, when the moon goes into Aquarius, we look into our own unconscious feeling judgments. So there is a darkness that bubbles to the surface. And some of us can get caught in our own tar trap. So if you don't know what you don't know about yourself, well, there's nothing you can do about it because it's outside of your attention. And we feed what we focus on. We realize that with this triple conjunction, we feed we fatten up what we focus on. If we're focusing on darkness, we get more of it. If we're focusing on how we cut corners, if we're focusing on what other people do to us, if we're focusing on the need for others to change, we're going to get more of it. We're going to need more from them. And that means we have to wait, we have to wish, sometimes we have to cajole. And so we have the opportunity to stop focusing on the problems outside of ourselves and stop feeding into it and start really nurturing and feeding our own self. By making room, we plunge up the darkness, sift through it, see how we act against our own best interest. And then start nurturing ourselves, start feeding ourselves correctly. So it's a day where we stop feeding ourselves emotional junk food. And we decide if we're going to move forward, if we're going to have a better life, we've got to leave something behind. We've got to pull our foot out of that tar trap and walk away. So we're walking away from some of our creature comforts. We're walking away from some of the things that It'll bring us a certain amount of soothing because we see that it's not actually good for us. And we understand how we've been poisoning our own self. So I'll pop in later today and talk about this more extensively. We have the new moon coming up tomorrow. So all of this is occurring in this final day of this letting go phase. So it's like we take an emotional laxative and let go of what attachments, outdated coping mechanisms, an attachment to addictive emotional patterns. Oh, there's freedom to be found if you're willing to die to that old version of self. If not, we carry it into the new cycle. And we'll have another opportunity to get straight with ourselves. But we will have to wait till Mercury comes up to a square to Pluto. And for those of us who do let go, we make room. We make room for what's really healthy and comfortable. We'll see a challenge to that. We'll have to build on that choice when Mercury comes into a square to Pluto. Alrighty, guys, I will pop in and talk about this again later today and give you more information, take some questions. See you later.